Hey everybody, I'm Brad Palumbo, and you're watching BradReacts on Right Now, where we react to the craziest and cringiest political content that's going around on social media. Today, we're taking a look at TikToks calling for the cancellation of student debt, and some of them are interesting, to say the least. Producer Zeke, let's dive right into it.
Isn't it crazy how in the US we haven't been paying student loans? We've been paying student loans for a year and a half, and the US economy has not collapsed.
Whoa!
It's almost as if we could cancel every single student loan and nothing would happen. No, that's too easy.
Well, okay, so what he's talking about there is the fact that they've put a pause on student loan payments during the pandemic. So right now, at least for most of student loans, which are collected by the government and the federal government, people aren't paying them. But that doesn't mean we could just cancel them willy-nilly with no consequences, because student loans are essentially a debt that taxpayers have given out to people who've borrowed loans. And so there's no such thing as just canceling a debt. Somebody has to pay it. And in this case, that means taxpayers. It means you and me have to eat the loss for other people not paying back the loans they took out. And even if you make the case for that sassily while eating a strawberry, it's still not very compelling. Zeke, what do you got next for me? Oh, that's one tactic, I guess. So this fellow right here has decided that, obviously it's meant in jest, but seducing Biden is the only way to get his student debt canceled. I hate to let you in on this, though. You're probably going to need a plan B. I don't think you'll be seducing anybody with that little get up anytime soon. Zeke, let's roll the next one.
Guess what? It grows the economy. Benefits everybody. Hurts nobody.
Oh, okay. Hate that. You don't love to see it. That's that creepy Biden whisper that he does where he like whispers at reporters. And it's like, no, don't do that. And TikToking to it with the voiceover is even more creepy than the real thing in real life somehow. It's also just stupid in this case. Genuinely dumb. Student loan cancellation would not grow the economy. I mean, even progressive-leaning economic analysts at the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, who are progressive Keynesians in their analysis, they've looked into this and said, no, it would not stimulate the economy because you're not even freeing up that much money for people to spend because student debt is over many years. So you're putting a little bit of money in people's hands at a vast cost of more than 1.7 trillion. So it's not a stimulative thing, whatever you think of it. And it certainly doesn't hurt nobody and benefit everybody because taxpayers have to pay for this student debt cancellation. It's actually a highly regressive policy. The benefits overwhelmingly go to well-educated, affluent, white liberals, and all of the rest of the tax-paying base gets to pay off their student loans, even though they're a relatively higher earning slice of the population. So I would say that a lot of taxpayers, I'm sorry to this vegan TikTok account, but a lot of taxpayers lose if this plan goes through. Zeke, roll the next one.
She's throwing paper. Now it's time for circulate. It's time for circulate. It's time for circulate. I'ma shake my money, yeah. I'ma shake my money, nigga. It's time for circulate. It's time for circulate.
Okay, so I actually kind of like that one because I'm not really here for this, oh, millennials are so entitled, Gen Z are so entitled. It is kind of ridiculous. And in this video, yeah, she has some good points, right? The cost of college is insane. It costs way too much money. You could buy a fancy car for what a public college costs these days just for 1 year in many cases. I know this. It wasn't too long ago I was in college myself and breaking the bank just to go to a state school. So college is way too expensive. I'm not going to sit here and argue with young progressives about that. But the question is why? And if you explore why, it turns out that big government and progressive policies created this problem that they're now complaining about. It was federal subsidization and student loans that directly added and inflated the cost of college over the last 30 years. Plus, you have to factor in the costs of all this woke administration that they do at these college campuses these days, which in many cases literally have water parks and resemble practically vacation camping sites with woke indoctrination on the side. So there's so much waste, there's so much inefficiency and government bureaucracy and bloated inefficiency in these systems, and the federal government messed up the market in the first place by subsidizing these carte blanche and just inflating the cost of college to begin with. So when you're demanding that big daddy government come in and save the day, remember that's what got us in this problem in the first place. Zeke, what do we got next?
Canceling student loan debt is totally unfair to those who already paid it off. Just like feeding the poor is unfair to those who already ate. And vaccinating the sick is unfair to those who already died. And ending the wars is unfair to those who already suffer from depleted uranium-induced birth defects.
Okay, I just lost IQ points watching that terrible cringe. First and foremost, these are not comparable things at all, right? Because the idea of vaccinating the sick or people who might get sick, not hurting dead people, it's not the same at all, because vaccinating new people doesn't take anything from anybody. Whereas student debt cancellation, like I said, it's a made-up word. You can't cancel anything. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Everybody pays something for something. And what that means is that you are taking from some people their money and their hardworking income away to pay off the student loans of others. So it's not this, oh, well, we should just keep some people down in the dumps because we don't want to be unfair to those who already experience those adversities. No, that's not it. It's that we don't want to screw over hardworking people who made responsible decisions to pay off your student debt on your French poetry and gender studies double major. If you're unemployed, if you can't pay your bills, well, maybe it's your own fault. And maybe you shouldn't be demanding everybody else pay for your bad decision making. Zeke, I can only take so much more of this, but let's roll the next one.
Why don't you major in something valuable and then maybe we'll talk?
Don't listen to anything this girl has to say. Your major is valuable no matter what you choose to do with it. If you love something enough to make it your main course of study, then it's valuable. It doesn't matter what anyone says about your major. If you love it, you are worth the investment.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know how to explain to you that your French poetry major is invaluable just because you like it. But here's the thing. I'm not even going to argue with you. If you think it's so valuable, that's absolutely fine. But this video was posted under #CancelStudentDebt. And here's the thing. If it's so valuable, that's great. Take it on yourself. Make your own investment. Take out your own loans. Pay your own loans. If you're passionate and you want to do this with your life, if you want to be a gender studies or all of these woke majors or these other things that the market and demand have said aren't valuable and useful to society, and that's why you end up as a barista at Starbucks, that's okay because value is subjective. And I'm not going to tell you that what you value isn't important, but I am going to tell you to pay for it yourself and not demand that others subsidize your personal hobby horses and interests at the expense of every taxpayer who actually has a job. All right, everybody, that's about all the cringe, cancel student debt content I can handle for one day. So that'll be it for today, but thank you guys for tuning in to BradReacts on Right Now. And go ahead and leave a comment. I actually read all the comments. So if you tell me that you think iced coffee, which I adore, is terrible, I will have to read that and weep. And if you tell me how amazing my hair looks today, I will have to read that and smile. So go ahead and leave a comment below. I will be reading them. I'm curious for your thoughts on this video. And let's set a goal right now. 250 likes. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and turn on bell notifications so you can join us next time on BradReacts.